Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters, grand rising to you. Some people, they hear, but they do not listen. Some people, they can tell you the names of the great pioneers of the Black Power movement, like Bobby Seale, Stokely Carmichael, Fred Hampton, Marcus Garvey. However, their conduct and what comes out of their mouth leads me to believe that they heard what they said, but they didn't listen to what a lot of the leaders, the great pillars in our community actually said. You see, when somebody hears something, they don't divert their attention to it because they're not concerned. You may hear something fall, and if you don't turn your head, that means that you're ignoring the sound. Oh, you hear the sound, but you're not paying attention to the sound, because to pay attention, which is listening, means to hear attentively. So with that being said, I believe that a lot of people, they have heard the leaders, but they really didn't pay attention. Why do I say this? If you listened to our ancestor, Fred Hampton, and if you listen to our living elder today, Bobby Seale, and if you go back and you listen to his messages, you will see that they never taught hate. If you listen to our ancestor, Stokely Carmichael, you will fully understand that they never taught hate. What they taught us to do is to love ourselves, to take care of one another, to educate one another, to support each other, to build capital, to establish our own businesses, self-preservation, to create jobs, entrepreneurship. This is what our elders had talked about, and now some of my ancestors. I believe that some people are missing the point. I believe that some, unfortunately, have become what they hate because they allow bitterness to enter into their heart. We have to teach self-preservation. We have to encourage our children, and not only our children, but our brothers and sisters that are pursuing higher educations, to apply to black colleges. And when they apply to black colleges, what that does is to keep money within the community, and they're also receiving the proper education that they need because they're taught by their own. If we establish our own school systems, then we won't have to be concerned about European ideologies or European political figures and military figures who are, by the way, were racist. We're going to have to be concerned if we do homeschooling and we educate our own child and our own children in regards to their heritage. I believe and I argue, and I say again and I argue, that some people have heard them, but I do not believe that they're paying any attention. Because if you paid attention to Marcus Garvey, you've even heard Marcus Garvey, if you read any of his literature, you'll come to find that the things that I'm saying is in fact of truth. I will never go against a spiritual discipline. I will never tell someone not to subscribe to wise principles, but I will forever argue against man-made traditions and doctrines and commandments that bind our people up mentally. Oh, I will not apologize. I'm unapologetic of talking facts. I'm unapologetic about talking about how the school systems only educate our children to the point of where they're still in a situation of stagnation intellectually because it's not designed to enhance their minds. Oh, I argue that. I'll argue that when they go to colleges and they get this meal ticket called a degree, they're only teaching them to stand in line and to go to their corporations there, meaning the European corporations, to stand in line just like they're standing in a soup kitchen line to beg for scraps and for handouts. But I'll submit to you today a solution. And that solution is get your education, get your degree for you to be a doctor, for you to be a lawyer, for you to be a judge, and go to a black college. And for you to take that degree that you got from that black college, and now in turn, you go to a black bank, all right, to get your loan for your business and establish your business rather than you standing in line trying to work for somebody. You can work for yourself. See, what happens is fear. A lot of times it's fear. It's fear of failure. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, things are not going to always go the way that you wanted to go, but you persevere. Listen, there'll be provision for the vision, but you got to persevere in order for the vision to come into fruition. In order for it to come into fruition, you got to be persistent. Now, let's stop talking about the white man don't do this for us and the white man don't do this for us. Okay, we all know what a colonist mindset is going to lead to. A closed fist. So it's common sense to me that we need to look to the Almighty and look to ourselves, because the Almighty has given us the intellect and the ability for us to be able to do so. My argument point is look at the pyramids over in Africa. My argument point, look at Imhotep. My argument point, Marcus Garvey. My argument point, Malcolm X, Elisha Muhammad, Farrakhan. This is what they taught us. That the Almighty has already given us the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the ability for us to do it, but we've been crippled by slavery to make us think that we got to keep depending on our oppressor. That's a lie. So my question is to you today, have you just heard our leaders? Or have you been paying attention? Peace and many blessings. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Community Empowerment Broadcast, where your mental, your physical, your spiritual, and your financial well-being is of our concern. And when you establish your black-owned business, you need to hire your people to keep the money within the community. And not only that, you need to look for other businesses that can help you to establish your business. Look for a black plumbing company. Look for a black electrician company. Look for a black landscaping company. Even look for a black window cleaning company. This is how, and the only way, that we're going to be able to come together and accomplish anything is unity, having a mature mindset, having the capital to be able to do these things, and also supporting one another. This is the only way that we're going to be able to conquer the oppression of our oppressor. And the only way this is going to change is of having a change of mind and fully understanding that even those down in Cuba, they came from Africa. So even the language does not mean that we are not of the same ethnicity, because our African brothers and sisters came from over in the motherland and came over to these various geographical locations. And even though they've been colonized and they speak French or they speak quote unquote Spanish, does not negate their dialect, their language that they speak, does not negate the fact that we're all blood and we all were birthed from the motherland. So let's not only talk the plan, let's work the plan. Let's put the plan in action. Power to the people.